Hey y'all, I'm back with a Tuesday tip video. I'm super excited to share this one with y'all. I'm not really sure where I don't remember where I got this from. This was a while back, and this was probably one of my favorite tips I've ever received because it's so helpful whenever you're trying to like fussy cut, I guess. It's kind of a play on my last video. If you didn't see my last Tuesday tip video, check that out. It's where I created just some simple ticket shapes. I'm going to share with you how you can easily cut out labels so you don't have to actually have like the dies that go with them. And so to be honest, I think so these are LA Studio labels, and I think that they sell the dies. I'm like 99.9% positive. But for some reason I don't have them, and I thought that I did. And so this is I've owned label stamps before, and I love label stamps. They're so great for, especially if you don't have a die cutting machine, you can just stamp a bunch like at one time. And it makes such a big difference when you use this tip that I'm about to share with you. So I am just going to use these two inks just because I haven't used them yet and I'm just curious. So these are from A Beautiful Mess. This is mint ink and this is plum. I got them in a Studio Calico haul, and I've never tried these before, so I was really just curious, but the video is not about the ink, it's really about the tip. So first I'm just gonna stamp a couple of these out, then I'm going to show you quickly how you can cut them out without having to work super hard with your scissors, if that makes sense. So I'm going to grab, and this particularly, I'm just going to show you the ones with the curvature on the corners, because that's where I probably, even though they seem simple, I probably have a harder time than most people trying to cut these particular shapes out. So especially when you have that curved edge there. So I'm going to use the plum ink now, and I'm just going to simply, and I don't know that I'll use all of these for now, this is just kind of sharing with y'all. I'm actually going to use my wipes these are alcohol wipes. I'm not sure if you're supposed to use them on ink or not, or these stamps or not, but they work great. And so I got these actually a while back whenever the pandemic first hit, and I felt like I probably needed a couple of different things just to like have around, because everything was pretty much sold out. But anyway, all that to say is these are one of the things that were not sold out. So, and now the last thing, I'm just going to do one of the skinnier. So there are actually, in this label stamp set, there are 4 of these type of labels with the curved edges. And so I'm going to do one more just to kind of share with y'all. I actually pulled, you know what, I think I'm going to use this ink, but I'm going to use it on this pink because I kind of wanted like not a tone on tone, but I kind of wanted to stamp like there's like this, reminds me of like a ballerina shoe or something. This really pretty paper that I got from Michael's that I shared in my organization video. That's pretty. So I did have some strips of paper that I was going to use, but I don't really need to do that. I don't need to use those right now. I can actually just probably go ahead and put those away. So the next thing I'm going to do is you can use your trimmer for this, but or you can use your scissors, but I'm just going to kind of trim off the edges. So I'm going to get as close to I'm going to just trim it, the rectangular shape out, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to quickly trim this. And obviously you'll still see the corners where the curved edges have not been trimmed. So I am going to, the only thing about this trimmer is the little pieces get kind of stuck under there. So now I have my shape. That's just rectangular. And I'm actually going to take my hole punch, and I'm going to get this a little closer so you guys can see. But I'm going to take my hole punch. I'm going to find where that color is. I don't want to chop really any of the color off, but I'm going to find the edge and simply use my hole punch to chop the edge, just to kind of make sure I have that ticket shape. And you can go in as far as you want. If you're like afraid you're going to have some color, some of the like other pink showing, you can go in further. Like I can go in further on this one. And then now you kind of have that perfect ticket shape. So I actually pulled this 3/4 of an inch punch because I wanted to see if it would work on the other shapes, and so, or on the bigger shapes. I guess you could probably try to use it on the smaller one. I'm not really sure. Let me close this up and put that aside. And then I will chop these down. Of course, you could use your scissors for these. And honestly, if you're good at using like fussy cutting, you probably don't need to use this tip, but I really like it, especially if I want that really like true ticket shape. I don't have to use my scissors for that. Okay. So I'm actually going to cut like one medium one out and then one larger one as well. So let me just use and I'll use my scissors for these next two just so that you can kind of see. Again, it doesn't take long to just cut the rectangular part out, and then you have your shape. Oh, here's the bigger one here. So these colors are really pretty, actually. I don't think I have a purple or like a pink like that in my stash, so I'm pretty excited about that. So again, you can just cut the rectangular shape out, then grab your punch. I'm gonna see if this works. I think it will. It just, yeah, I think it does work. It just won't have as much of a curve. I'm gonna, that turned out really good. Okay, so you can see how I just chopped off those edges, so it came out almost near perfectly on the edges there. And then for this middle, like this medium size one, I'm gonna try using the same one to see. Yeah, and you get kind of the same look that way. And I'll actually go back in on the other two edges with this one, because you can see the smaller the circle, the more curve you're gonna have. And so you can kind of see the difference between the two sides. This is a little bit more wide, and then this has a little bit more like curve. So I think those turned out really nice. So that is just my quick tip. These tip videos are going to be pretty short. I'm not going to do too much in these. And stay tuned for my next video. I think, if I can remember correctly, I think my next one will be kind of sharing how my new dies. I got some new dies in and I want to share how those work. So, or actually I want to try them out with y'all. So stay tuned for that, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.